Hey everybody, Johnny Mac here. This is a recipe that's pretty hard to find. It's a French style sauce that's an Espanol derivative. It's a Brown Breton sauce, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show you how to make it. As always, begin with some prep work. Get your ingredients ready for the sauce. Grab 1 yellow onion, your blade, and a board. Get ready for some choppy. You'll need to dice at least 2 cups, that's about 200 grams of the yellow onion. And you may be wondering what this classic brown French style sauce goes with. It goes really well with pork or chicken that's either been deep fried or pan fried. And you know what? Pouring it over rice or mashed potatoes, phenomenal. Next item, 1 shallot. Remove that pesky skin and dice it up nice and fine. And if you've never had French cuisine, this sauce right here, it'll take you there. It's amazing how a food can bring back memories of people or places. The smell and the taste of this Brown Breton sauce transported me back to Paris, France whenever I was a student at the Cordon Bleu. Ah, such a great time and wonderful taste. This sauce tastes like the majority of the sauces that I made there. So I hope you have a chance to give this sauce a shot. The taste is good. Great job, you're knocking the prep work out. Next up to bat, garlic. I'm gonna give it a quick chop so it'll fit into my garlic press, but if you wanted to use a microplane you could, or chop it up on the board, why not? Last ingredient, flat leaf parsley. You'll need at least 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley in the end. And for best results, it's a good idea to wash your parsley up front, dry it out, and then chop it on the board. That way, the parsley's flavor stays in the parsley and not on the board. Time for the fun part. Let me show you how to make this gourmet sauce. Round up 2 tablespoons of butter, that's about 28 grams. Put it into a sauté pan over high heat. Melt the butter down and you want it to be piping hot. So I know what you're thinking, how hot is hot? When will it be hot enough? Well, that's a good question. Once you see the butter start to turn brown, like it is in the center of the pan, then it's hot enough to drop in your onions. 2 cups, 200 grams. Give those sizzling beasties a quick mix to incorporate them into the butter. Nice work so far. Now it's time for you to grab your shallot, the 1 shallot that you minced. That's approximately 90 grams, dump it in. So this is where the magic begins for this homemade sauce recipe. The flavor starts here. You want to caramelize these onions and shallots. So don't just lightly brown them around the edges, you want to fully caramelize them. That means cooking them for about 15 minutes over medium to high heat. Once the onions and shallots are right where you want them to be, it's time to drop in the minced garlic. And I really love this garlic press. I'll put a link in the description down below so that you can see what I'm using, but it really works well, and above that it's easy to clean. And hey, if you're not part of the sauce and gravy community just quite yet, smash that subscribe button to stay tuned to the latest and greatest sauce making tips and techniques. Quickly cook the garlic for about 30 seconds until you smell a warm garlic type smell fill the air. Alright, you're moving right along with the sauce making process. Next step, deglazing the pan. Pour in half of a cup of dry white wine, that's about 125 milliliters. Cook this over medium heat for a minute or 2 until that white wine is just about gone. Hey, fantastic work. You're really concentrating that wine flavor and removing the alcohol. Now you're ready to move on to the next step. Grab your beef stock, half of a cup, 125 milliliters, pour it in. You might want to turn your burner back up to high to bring the sauce back up to heat. Once the sauce starts to simmer, you can turn that heat back down to medium and cook for a few minutes until the sauce is reduced by 3/4. And it's a good idea at this point in the sauce making process to grab a flat bottom spatula or spoon and scrape the bottom of the pan. The shallots and onions left a lot of flavor on the bottom of the pan whenever you sauteed them. This will help bring it back into the sauce. And this is such a flavorful recipe. At this point, you can just really smell it in the air. Nice work so far. You've gotten all the bits and pieces up off the bottom, most of them anyways, and the sauce, it's reduced down to concentrate the flavor. Here you go. It's time for you to move on to the next step. Add your tomato puree, 1/4 of a cup, 60 grams. Give it a mix, make sure that it's well incorporated into the sauce. Your burner, it's over medium heat, and for the next ingredient, you have options. First option, an Espanol sauce, 1 1/4 cup, that's about 313 milliliters. I'll put a video link in the description box below for a homemade Espanol sauce, along with a full list of all the ingredients used for this recipe. Option 2, a heaping tablespoon of veal demi-glace mixed in with 1 1/4 cups of water. I'll tag a veal demi-glace that I like to use on this recipe. You can't go wrong either way, but give it a mix, bring it to a simmer over medium heat. Once it starts to simmer, reduce for about 5 minutes until it's as thick as you like. And if you notice any foam or impurities that start to build up on the top of the sauce, you might want to snag a bowl and a spoon and skim it off the top. Make this sauce nice and neat. So far, you've got an A++ for French cuisine. Nice work. Take the sauce off heat. We have a few more steps to go before we're ready to dive in. First off, we're gonna clean up the sauce. Grab a fine sieve or something to strain the sauce with, and a clean sauce pot or saucepan. And I get a lot of comments asking, what are you gonna do with those onions and shallots and garlic? Are you just gonna throw it out? And I guess, well, you can if you want to, but you can also use it in other recipes. I like to throw these guys either in a meatloaf or into meatballs, or you can make a Salisbury steak recipe with this as well. It's absolutely knockout. But check out that sauce, nice and smooth. That looks beautiful, nice work. So what does French cuisine have a lot of? Butter. 3 tablespoons, cut up into cubes, that's about 42 grams. Make sure it's cold. Add a small amount at a time, mix it in, then add the rest until it's well emulsified into the sauce. To incorporate that butter, it's best to either use a spoon or just pick up the pan and swirl that butter around in the pan. All right, your last ingredient for this homemade brown sauce, chopped parsley, roughly about 2 tablespoons. Hey, nice job, you put that sauce together really well. That's how you make a Brown Breton sauce. Hey, well, thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoy this brown sauce as much as I do. And if you found this recipe helpful, be sure to hit that like button. If you're looking for additional brown sauce ideas, check out this mushroom gravy or this Salisbury steak recipe. They're both knockout. And remember to keep whisking, y'all.